Testing, testing. What's up, y'all? What's up, guys? Welcome to the live. Put Make sure you let me know if you can hear me. He says waiting for some folks to pull up. Yep. Dang. I was up here talking the whole time. Okay, let me know if you can hear me now. I thought that I had unmuted it. Yeah, let me know if you can hear me. I'm still muted. Am I still muted? You saying that you can hear. I need my mind to tell me if he can hear too. But I need my mind to tell me if he can hear me. Okay, okay, okay. No, I don't necessarily have to start over like the live stream, but I could start over from saying what I was saying if that's what you mean. Um so basically, shout out to Psychotic. I have a video for us to watch today. And it is titled When You Understand This, You Will Never Get Irritated with Anyone Again. And I don't own copyrights either. But I just wanted to talk about this because over the last week or so I've been realizing how the mind is a very carnal place, and a lot of people, a lot of the corruption that's going on in the world, and how the Chicago mayor and the governor of Illinois, and the president is at odds with each other, and everybody is just at odds with each other. Um, a lot of people is going crazy upstairs and up here in the mines, and you can't tell them nothing. You can't tell them nothing. But over the last week or so, I've been realizing that The only reason why the world is the way that it is at this point is because of the people and their minds. They are allowing their minds to literally, they're allowing their thoughts to take over them and control them. You know, a lot of people don't know how to identify the difference between peace and chaos, or positivity and negativity. And they just allow the negativity to play full effect, and they don't believe in accepting things. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I was this way before. I didn't want to accept things because when you don't like authority, then of course you ain't gonna want to accept anything. Because it's more so like, who are you talking to? Who do you think you talking to? I don't have to accept nothing. So you try to prove your point to people or to the world and show the world and show people that I don't have to accept nothing. Then as I got older, I started to realize that actually you have to accept the things that you can't change, you know? And unfortunately, now I'm starting to see how there's people out there in the world that act and think just like how I used to. And unfortunately, it's a lot of elderly people, Of course, you guys see the thumbnail, and I am in no shape, form, or fashion trying to divide us. That is not my duty here on this channel. I don't want to keep keep division going between everybody. That's not, but I just call out the obvious. And it's obvious that a lot of elderly people nowadays, they can't control themselves. They are out of control, you know? And I don't want to hear that, oh, it's the meds. I don't want to hear that it's this person and it's that person and it's this situation and it's that situation. Because honestly, it starts in the mind. You have to control your own mind. You have to. Because you wouldn't even be on those medications or anything like that if you didn't decide to take it. Just being 100. We have options in life. Now, I only said that because people gonna try to say, oh yeah, it's the, of course, that type of stuff do contribute to, you know, people's actions and the way that they act. But before that, they had their own mind and they weren't able to keep it under control. And a lot of people are not able to keep it under control. And I'm just hoping that this is the video right here. Because mind y'all, I'm gonna be looking at this video with y'all as well. This is my first time. So if this is not the video that we're looking for, then I know the perfect one. You said that's the only way to move on. Yeah. I just want people to understand that it's really all up here. This right here is what is controlling the world right now. The world that we live in. All of this corruption that's going on. All this evil that's going on. It's this. And the fact that people can't control this is gonna get a lot more uncontrollable. Yeah, they was supposed to run to God, not the hospital. Exactly. Exactly. Now, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna lie to you. If it's a emergency, of course, go to the hospital. You know. But if it's something that you can really take care of on your own, you can't people literally put their trust in man so much, man. I'm gonna just say that. They put their trust in man so much. People idol worship everything around them. They idol worship everything on their mind. except for God. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and flip the camera to watch this video. Shout out to Psychotic. Y'all can go check him out. The name of this video is When You Understand This, You Will Never Get Irritated with Anyone Again. So make sure that y'all stay, on topic. Stay put. Listen to what we gotta say. Listen to what he gotta say.
Spark burning in your...
Okay, let's start it over. Okay, let me get back. Okay, so it says everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves.
You'll never admit it out loud, but you know it. There's something inside you that lights up like a match every time the world doesn't bend to your will. A poorly spoken word, a gesture you interpret as contempt, a tiny delay, and there it is, that spark burning in your chest. Irritation, a force that controls you more than you'd like to recognize. But here's the painful truth. It's not you who controls your anger. It's your anger that controls you. And the most unsettling part is that it doesn't even belong to you. The thought is brutal. What irritates you has nothing to do with what happens outside, but with an invisible monster that lives within you. Carl Jung called it the shadow, that repressed, dark part you hide, because you can't stand to admit that you're also capable of the very things you criticize most in others. Haven't you ever noticed that what you detest in someone else is often exactly what you secretly hide in yourself? That's the mirror you don't want to face, because every irritation is a voice inside you screaming, "That's you too." Do you want a disturbing fact? When someone makes you lose your temper, it's not their voice you hear, it's yours. The other person is only a trigger, a dirty mirror.
Yes, let's go. He say the other person is a trigger. This is let me tell y'all something. So me and my husband, one time a long time ago, had a slight disagreement. He said, "You making me mad." I said, "No, I'm not making you mad. You're making yourself mad. Only you can allow you to be mad. I can't allow you to do anything or be anything. We cannot control each other. We control ourselves. We control our own mind. So never allow somebody to make you mad. Feel me? You can only make yourself mad. If you think about it too hard, if you allow that person so much control over you and your mind, you're going to allow them to upset you, of course. But that was just the example. And he said to me, he said, "Man, you know what? You know what? You are so right." Ever since I told him that, he literally has not allowed anything to upset him and piss him off. Nothing. Real talk.
Reflecting what you'd rather bury. And you, convinced you're fighting an external enemy, end up battling your own shadows. That's why you never win. Have you noticed? Irritation never solves anything. It only repeats itself, like an echo. And the more you try to control it with force, the stronger it becomes, like a starving beast feeding on your resistance. Here's what's unsettling.
What's up, Shada? You said only a trigger. We are not supposed to fall for the trigger. Not supposed to fall for the trigger. So what are you gonna do when somebody step in front of you and they point a gun at you? You know what I'm saying? They have to pull the trigger on you. But don't make them pull the trigger by saying dumb stuff. You know what I'm saying? Don't get up. I mean, I don't even know that if that was a good example. That was probably a horrible example, y'all. That probably was the worst example ever. Well, you know, Just like you tell your children, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words can never hurt you. Honestly, words do hurt and they cut deep. They do. And words are, man, sharper. Some people's words can be sharper than a damn knife. Seriously. Because words will stick to you for the rest of your life. It's up to you to let that go, let that hurt go, let that pain go. Because if you don't, you're going to allow those words to trigger you into doing something. Those words are triggers. Those words trigger you. People trigger you. You know, you can't allow people to trigger you, though. If I said that right. So let's just listen.
Irritation is addictive. Yes, addictive. Your brain releases the same chemical surge as a drug when you explode in fury or bite your lips holding back.
Woo, that adrenaline rush. You know you mad when you get that adrenaline rush. You know, did you hear what he said? Let's run that back.
Yes, addictive. Your brain releases the same chemical surge as a drug when you explode in fury or bite your lips holding back.
That's crazy.
That stab of heat in your stomach is the high your mind seeks. And without realizing it, you become a slave to an invisible substance you produce yourself. Do you get it?
You feel me?
You get irritated
Yep.
because deep down, you like being irritated.
Ooh. Oh. Ooh, you hear that? You hear that? I promise you, I had to tell myself that before. Like, do you like being irritated or something? Why are you allowing that certain situation to you gotta you gotta you gotta, live out the rest of the day. But you're allowing a situation from 8 a.m. to spill over all the way into 1 p.m., to spill all the way over into 8 p.m., then the next day. Why allow that situation to have that much control over what you're about to do for the rest of the day? You know, do you like being irritated? Do you like being angry? It's crazy.
Because the pain of that surge is more familiar than the calm you've never known.
Yep.
Imagine this. You're in a dark room. Someone lights a match, and for an instant you see a face. Yours. Not the one you show in photos, not the one you believe yourself to be, but another. Distorted, charged with rage, eyes glowing like embers. That's you. The real you always try to hide. And every time someone bothers you, that shadow gains more ground.
Mm-hmm.
It's no coincidence. Jung warned us, what you don't make conscious returns as fate. Now think about this. How many times have you sworn you wouldn't explode again, that you'd keep calm, that nothing would affect you, and yet you fell back into it? That repetition isn't chance.
Because you say to yourself, I can't do it, man. Why would I walk away from something like that? I need to be able to explode.
It's a cycle. And the most chilling part is that as long as you run from that shadow, the cycle will never end. Each irritation is a call, a coded message you don't know how to read. Life isn't trying to annoy you. It's trying to show you what you can't stand to accept.
Exactly. Oh, there you go. There you go. Life isn't annoying. It's trying to show you what you can't accept. I'm telling you, man, I used to be just like that. I felt like, man, ain't nobody gonna tell me what I gotta accept. Man, look, I thank God for putting me with a man of God, seriously, because this man has truly helped me in that area for real. He used to always say, accept the things that you cannot change. I'm telling you, you're going to have to accept it. So what you going to do if this happened and that happened? You know? He said, what you can't stand to accept. I'm telling you, I was there. I was there once upon a time. This is exactly why the world is so corrupt and people's minds is so corrupt, because they have, like you said, too much pride to let go and let God. They got too much pride because they can't stand to accept things. They can't stand it. Yep, life will tell you over and over you gotta accept. Yes. I'm telling you, people literally run with their trauma. They run with it forever and they don't let it go. They don't see the good in things, you know. What dudes say, you gotta tell them your story. It's gonna inspire them. You can inspire somebody with your story. But people, they don't want to tell their story. They just want to bury themselves deep into their trauma and never let it go, you know?
But there's something else. Something almost no one dares to say. The real danger isn't in the irritation that bursts outward, but in the one you swallow in silence. That silence filled with resentment, slowly rotting you, like poison in your blood. You think you're enduring, holding on, but what you're really doing is incubating a beast that will eventually find its way out.
Ooh, I'm telling you, you better, man, look. If you don't accept things, how are you going to be able to change? Because change comes along with acceptance. Once you're able to accept things, then you're able to make that change in your life. You're able to move forward. You're able to start new again. Real talk. Sometimes we got to let ourselves fall so hard on our face that we get back up and we dust ourselves off and we try again. For real. Dust yourself off and try again. Real talk. Take it from me, man. I've been there. I've been there. Let's go back a little bit.
Poison in your blood. You think you're enduring, holding on, but what you're really doing is incubating a beast that will eventually find its way out. And when it does, there will be no turning back. The unsettling thing is that most people live this way, possessed by invisible shadows, imprisoned by an inner theater they never understand. They believe they hate the neighbor, the boss, the partner, when in reality they hate themselves by reflection. The enemy was never outside. It was always you. And that's the truth almost no one can bear to hear.
No one can bear to hear that. I finally came to the realization that, bruh, it's me. I can't keep blaming everybody else for my troubles. It's me. Sometimes things happen out of our control. You know what I'm saying? But the whole thing in a nutshell is, are you going to allow that situation to control your everyday life? That's the thing. Sometimes we make decisions. We think too fast, we move too fast, and we make decisions that we end up regretting. But you also got to see the good in it too. And the good is that you made a bad decision. You regret it. So now it's time to move forward. How are you going to make it better? How are you going to make sure that it doesn't happen again? It's about learning from our mistakes. Sometimes we do move too fast and we do make mistakes, man. But we got to pull the good up out of that, though.
Do you want to stop feeling irritated? It's not about deep breathing or faking calm like a picture-perfect monk.
Right.
It's about descending into your...
Man, trust me, man, that it don't work for everybody, okay? I'm going to just be 100. The taking deep breaths and, counting to 10. Oh, I've been there. Oh, I've been there. Trust me. I've been there since I was 12 years old. And I didn't get out of that state of mind until my early 20s. No, my mid 20s. So imagine that. But imagine being able to know about the world and know right from wrong for real in your early 30s, because it's people out here that's 60, 70 plus that can't even take deep breaths because they have impulsive thinking, very impulsive. They move way too fast, and they allow their thoughts, they play out their thoughts. Do you not know how crazy that is? How dangerous that is to actually play out your thoughts? You know, it used to be a point in time where people would just think to themselves and you would be like, "Hey, you good over there?" "Oh yeah, I'm just thinking." "Oh yeah, I'm just thinking." You know what I'm saying? But now it's to the point where it's like, "Hey, you good over there?" "Man, I'm about to go do something crazy." People just literally have gotten to the point where they are so impulsive that they ready to do some crazy stuff. And we ain't gonna be too long either on this live today. I just had to, man, I had to talk about this, but let's go back to the video.
Own hell, staring into the face of that part of you that disgusts you, the one you reject, the one you deny. Only when you embrace what you hide will irritation lose its strength. Because the secret isn't mastering the external, but reconciling the internal. And here comes the hardest part. Never being irritated again doesn't mean the world stops being hostile.
Yep.
It means the hostile will no longer find a place to wound you. When there's nothing in you that resonates with offense, offense passes you by. When there's no shadow left to project, no mirror will return a reflection that bothers you. That is true power. Not indifference, not coldness. Absolute power over yourself. But be careful, because getting there isn't free. The price is staring at the mirror without blinking. The price is accepting that what you hate most in others is, in truth, what you're most afraid of being. Do you have the courage to do it? Because if you don't, irritation will remain your jailer. And every day, every word, every insignificant gesture will be another shackle around your neck. Here's the mystery. The world never irritated you. You did. And as long as you don't wake up, you'll keep reacting like a puppet tied to invisible strings. But if you understand it, if you see it, then you'll be free. Because nothing and no one will ever be able to touch you again. Never again. And now think about something you rarely allow yourself to consider. What if irritation wasn't a flaw in your character, but a coded message from the unconscious? Jung said that what disturbs us most is precisely what we most need to integrate. Irritation isn't an enemy to defeat, but a distorted compass pointing toward what you ignore about yourself. Each annoyance is an invisible finger pointing at an open wound you didn't even know was still bleeding. And here's the trap. As long as you run from irritation, you run from your own healing.
Yes, say that, bro. If when you run from irritation, you run from your own healing. You know, let me tell you something. A lot of people run from their irritation when they use drugs or alcohol as a reason to get rid of the thought from what happened, what just happened, what happened the day before. And if you think about it, that's why it's a lot of addicts out here right now, because they're running away from their own irritation, their own battles. You know, they can't take it. They can't take the heat. So the only way to move forward is through drinking and smoking, you know? And it's like you got to understand that these battles that you face can literally heal you. I promise you. I am a walking testimony right now. I have allowed the strongest battles in my life to heal me. Real talk. You want to know why? Because I had to accept it. I had no choice but to accept it. Yeah, they trying to mask the pain and there's no way to run. You can run, but you can't hide. You can't you think that you burying trauma through, popping pills or pain meds and, drinking and smoking and just doing bad addictive things. Going to the casino. Some people go to the casino and go to the lottery, play the lottery. Some people get tattoos and stuff like that. And they literally do all of this to hide away they pain. Some people overwork themselves on a job and they got to keep making a consistent income so they can have something to brag about. Meanwhile, they are running from their own irritation. What's giving them pain, what's hurting them.
Let me take you a bit further. Irritation, when not understood, becomes an emotional parasite that feeds on your vital energy. It disguises itself as anger toward others, but in reality it drains your attention, fragments your concentration, and severs your bond with the present. That's why, when you're irritated, nothing flows. Time warps, minutes turn into knives, and even the air feels heavy. Have you felt that? As if everything around you conspires to remind you that you're not in control. But here's the disturbing part. It's not the world reminding you. It's you sabotaging yourself. What's fascinating is that when you study the human psyche, you discover irritation never appears randomly. It always surfaces in the same patterns, in the same scenarios, like a secret ritual. It's almost like an inner theater with a repeated script, a specific tone of voice, a gesture, a phrase that always sparks the same fire. And here's the mystery. That fire doesn't burn in the present, it burns in memory. Each irritation today is a key opening the door to unresolved past pain.
Yes.
You get irritated because, as a child, someone ignored you, because in adolescence, someone humiliated you, because at some point you learned the world could invalidate you. And every spark today is a reactivation of that primal wound.
Yes. Come on, say it, dude. I'm telling you, man. The mind is a very carnal thing, man. And I've had those times in my life, in my adult years as well, when I used to like have flashbacks to my childhood and what happened to me at school, or what happened to me at this time in my life and that time in my life, and it will upset me and it will make me mad, and I will allow it to be a trigger to me trying to live in the moment. That's how you can mess up your day. You mess up your day when you sit back and you think about what happened yesterday. And I'm talking about the negative things. You think about your past too much and you allow those bad, horrible situations to live in the moment with you. If you get what I'm saying, when you were supposed to be living in the moment, living in the present, you allowing that past life to upset you. So yeah, man, telling you, I've been there.
That's how it works. It's not anger at the other, it's memory in disguise. Now imagine this. You're sitting in silence, and suddenly someone says a word that pierces you. You think the irritation is against that person, but it's not. It's against yourself for having let that wound never heal. The other person only spoke the word, but it was your mind that wrote the dictionary of pain.
Oh,
Do you see?
Cooking.
You're the author of the words that hurt you.
Okay.
What no one says out loud is that irritation is a mirror of vulnerability.
Okay.
You get irritated because, deep down, you feel weak.
Yep.
And here...
Yes. I'm telling you, bro. The whole world is irritated. But they don't even realize that it is them. It's not anything else or nothing else or nobody else. It is them. They are the reason why they're irritated. It's so many people around here steady talking about Trump this and Trump that, and this is happening and that and that is happening, this corruption and that corruption. But I'm gonna be honest with you. And they use that as a reason to get pissed off and get upset. But you're allowing something that you can't control, that you will never be able to control, you allowing that to irritate you. So what he say? You the author of your own book or something like that? Whole world suffer from heartbreak. Exactly. Yep.
Here's the paradox. The harder you try to appear strong, the more fragile you really are.
Yep.
The one who irritates easily shows he has no mastery over himself. And Jung made it clear, no one achieves wholeness while running from fragility. True strength isn't about never feeling irritation, but about recognizing it, stripping it bare, seeing where it comes from, and letting it go.
Yep.
But here, I want you to feel the vertigo. Irritation is also a social virus.
Yep.
It spreads. It enters a family and ruins entire dinners.
Yep.
It seeps into offices and poisons whole environments.
Yes.
It sneaks into couples and destroys years of love in seconds.
Yep.
One spark, and suddenly everything burns.
Yep.
Haven't you seen it? One raised word, and what seemed like a simple argument turns into an uncontrollable storm.
Ooh,
That's the power of irritation. Unleashing collective demons that sleep in silence until someone wakes them.
Yep.
And here's something even more disturbing. Most people think irritation is an individual emotion, but in reality, it's a shared phenomenon.
Ooh.
What irritates you resonates in the other's unconscious.
Come on, man. For instance, we was at the store earlier, right? Now we come in peace for real. When you see me and my family, we are coming in peace. We don't come to start chaos with people. In no shape, form, or fashion are we out here to start problems with people. We just trying to get in and get out. Hello, how you doing? If you really mean it, we speak when spoken to, and we don't allow people, places, and things to irritate us, to drive us to the point where we ready to crash out. I'm telling you, man, what it and the crazy part about it is, as we standing there and we minding our business, there was this guy that came in to the store, and he just kept staring us down and mean mugging us like he was just ready to do harm or whatever. We ain't do nothing to him. He was just at the whole store. He kept looking at us randomly. He wanted a problem. He wanted to start a problem. And that's crazy, you know, because what irritates him, he can potentially try to irritate me with the things that he's trying to cause, with the chaos that he's trying to cause. He could have potentially tried to irritate my husband as well. But at the same time, he didn't. He didn't even get that opportunity. Everybody else in the store is open arms, ready for you to irritate them. You said they was trying it with us for being normal. Yeah, they want to drag you into their irritation. Whatever they irritated about. Sometimes people don't even be irritated about nothing. They just be irritated from seeing you. You are a disruption to their chaotic mindsets. When they see you, they skirt, hit the brakes. It's like, who is this? Why are they this normal? Why are they this respectful? I have this respectful. I have a problem with that. I want problems with them. I want them to be irritated with me. I don't like them. People don't even know you and they don't even like you. That's just diabolical.
And without realizing it, you both enter a dance of shadows. You get irritated, he responds. You respond harder. He defends himself. And in the end, neither remembers what the argument was about. Because irritation doesn't argue over facts. It argues over wounds. Nobody wins. Everyone bleeds. Do you want to know the most brutal truth?
Mm-hmm.
Irritation is a sign of slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Every time someone irritates you, that person has power over you.
Yes.
If a stranger on the street can ruin your day with a gesture,
Yes.
what does that say about your freedom?
Yep.
You're not free as long as your calm depends on what others do or say.
Ooh, wee. I don't know if y'all ready, man. Are y'all ready? This man right here. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man. What he's saying is 100% facts. If you can allow me, Danny TV, to irritate you just for me talking about the truth, or just for me advocating for my children, that means that you are allowing me to have a lot of power over you. If you can be irritated by me
You're a
just
prison.
simply because of my presence, that means I got a lot of power over you. You allowing me to have that power over you.
Or handing over the keys of your peace to anyone who crosses your path. And the worst part, you do it yourself every day without questioning it. But here's the way out. And it's not what you imagine. It's not about being indifferent. It's not about pretending nothing matters. That would just be another mask, another lie. The way out is integration. Irritation shows you the door to what you haven't yet accepted in yourself. Every time someone lights that spark in you, ask yourself, what part of me feels threatened? What shadow have I rejected so long that it now appears disguised as an enemy? If you have the courage to look there, to hold the gaze, irritation loses its power. The day you understand this, something will break. You won't be irritated anymore because you'll know there's no one outside of you who can hurt you. Everything external will be a reminder, not a threat. And right there, true freedom begins. A silent, invisible freedom, but so absolute that no one will ever take it from you. And here's where a more disturbing detail appears. Irritation doesn't just steal your calm, it silently designs your identity. Every time you react with anger or annoyance, you're building an image of yourself that gets fixed like an invisible tattoo. You don't realize it, but every outburst, every grimace of impatience, every silence heavy with resentment, sculpts the statue of the person you're becoming. And the most ironic part is you don't even recognize yourself in that reflection, because irritation never speaks of who you really are, but of who you've allowed pain to make you. Imagine you're wearing a mask, and every irritation is a crack letting out a hidden shadow. Over time, the cracks no longer close, the mask shatters, and what remains is a deformed figure moving by habit. A self built on automatic reactions. Do you know what that means? That if you don't make this process conscious, you'll end up as the smallest version of yourself. A character designed by your wounds instead of the author of your destiny. And that's one of the cruelest forms of psychological slavery. Living as a puppet of memories you don't even remember. And here comes what almost no one dares to face. Irritation shapes your decisions far more than you imagine. That job you rejected, that relationship you left, that opportunity you never took. All, in part, were influenced by the shadow of irritation. Because irritation doesn't just appear as reaction, it also becomes prevention. You anticipate being bothered, you brace for pain, and without realizing it, you start living defensively. You don't build your life, you fortify it. And the deadliest trap, believing you're making free choices, when in fact you're deciding from the wound. Let me give you a brutal example. Think of the person who avoids public speaking at all costs because the mere idea of being questioned irritates them. That person doesn't know it, but their identity is being molded by anticipated irritation. It's not that they can't speak, it's that the shadow of their own fear disguises itself as prudence and robs them of entire paths of experience.
Look, I ain't want to be too long on here. Y'all can go check him out. That's his logo right there. His name is Psychotic. And please, man, check out his videos. He has some very, very informative videos. And it ain't got dark out here. I just want to say this, y'all. Do not allow anything or anybody to irritate you, to frustrate you. Because if you do, you are allowing a situation or a person to have a lot of power and control over you. And we got a lot of people out here that swear up and down, can't nobody tell them nothing. They swear up and down, a person can't tell them nothing, a person can't tell them what to do. You ain't they mama, you ain't they daddy. But instead they will allow a situation or a person's gestures, rather they say hello or good night to them, irritate them. You don't know how many people out here is very irritated with me just because they speak to me and sometimes I decide not to speak back. That's because I decide not to and I don't have to. And I am not obligated to do anything. That's the reason why. It's not the fact that, I'm disrespectful, because I am a very respectful person and I reserve my peace. That's the thing. I can tell when there is somebody that has ill intent, and I am very guarded, you know, and I like to guard my peace. Real talk. I'm very overprotective of my peace. Sometimes people don't mean no harm, but majority of the times I always apologize. Always very apologetic to people when I be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. I didn't know that you really, you was really trying to talk to me." That's the thing. Um, but anyway, yeah, we can't let situations, places, people irritate us because you're giving them too much power. You're giving it too much power, too much control. I'm going through a situation right now that I've been going through for the last 6.5 years. But guess what? I still live my life. I do not allow the situation to control me. And it's not the fact that I don't care, it's the fact that I had to accept things. So now it's time for me to move forward and keep moving forward while still doing things appropriately, living life the right way, not crashing out, not putting myself in certain situations that I don't want to be in. Because when you don't accept things and you ain't accepting the fact that you want to change, when you don't accept things, then that means it. Okay, let me run it back. When you don't accept things and you don't want to accept things, and you have no intentions to accept things, then that means that you are a ticking time bomb and you are ready to crash out. Hey, if you can't accept things, then trust and believe you will eventually crash out. But when you do, if you do, pick yourself back up. Real talk. And I look, sometimes people crash out and they end up in the worst unfortunate situations, in handcuffs or locked away. Some people just don't make it to see the next day because they decided to crash out. But that's the thing, you know? That's the thing. It's either you're going to be locked away behind bars or 6 feet under if you crash out. And that's only if you fail to accept things. That is only if you allow your past life to have that much control over your present life. That is only if you allow circumstances and people to irritate you. I'm telling you, a person look at you up and down and they rolling their eyes and you allow that to irritate you for the rest of the day. Come on now, be for real. Come on now. Now you steady thinking about it. You can't stop. You at McDonald's trying to get your order and everything. You driving on the highway to go on vacation. You can't stop thinking about that though. You driving to work. You can't stop thinking about that. All they did was roll their eyes at you and you are irritated with your life at this point. If any little thing that someone does or any situation that happens in your life irritates you for the remainder of the day or the remainder of your life, then you need to address that before it gets worse, before it gets to the point where you literally crash out. Telling you, that's just the flat out truth. Said very grateful for your words. Yeah, I'm grateful that I'm able to help people. If I've helped anybody, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the people that actually sit and listen to me talk. Because there's people out here that don't want to listen to you. They don't even want to hear you. So anyway, y'all, with that being said, I'll be on here later or we gonna do it another day. Make sure y'all stay tuned for more content, more live streams, videos, shorts, whatever the case may be. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe either. Nevertheless, wake them folks up.